Good afternoon, everybody. Will Dupree here in the KXAN live studio. Thank you all for watching our stream. We are about to listen in right now as the city's new interim police chief, Joseph Chacon, is going to answer reporters' questions alongside city manager Spencer Cronk. So let's take a listen as this gets underway. Once again, we're hearing from the city's new acting police chief. His appointment became official last week after the city council's approval. His position will take effect on April 11th, so coming up very soon. Let's listen once again as this virtual news conference gets underway.
I think I was going to start, so I'm going to get going. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, City Manager Spencer Cronk, and although many are familiar with Chief Chacon, I welcome this opportunity to formally introduce him to our broader community. I want to express my appreciation to the City Council for confirming him as my choice as interim chief of the Austin Police Department last Thursday. I want to reiterate that today we have no intention of sitting back until a permanent chief arrives. There's far too much important work to be done over the next few months, and we must remain focused on moving forward. We need to continue to work on transforming the Cadet Academy, eliminating discrimination and bias, improving police-community relations, and reimagining public safety. I am confident that Chief Chacon's commitment to reform will enable us to make progress on our objectives over the coming months. In doing so, he will have the full support of the City Manager's office. The City of Austin's commitment to maintaining public safety and making sure all people in Austin feel safe in their communities is unwavering. We are investing in effective programs and strategies to make Austin a place where the efforts of police are supported with the high caliber training, public safety investments to prevent crime from occurring in the first place, and appropriately handling of mental health crises and social services. This is a pivotal time for our community. I am confident in Chief Chacon's ability to navigate us through these challenging times, continue to build public trust, move forward on the commitments we've made, and lead this dedicated and professional police department while we search for our next permanent chief. To that end, we'll continue to urge the community to share their thoughts and ideas about the police chief search by visiting speakupaustin.org/yournextpolicechief, emailing community@austintexas.gov, or contacting Austin 311. And with that, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Chief Chacon. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Thanks to everybody who's joining today. First, I want to just reiterate how proud I am to have our Mayor and City Council confirm City Manager Cronk's decision to have me serve in my new role as the interim police chief for the Austin Police Department. I intend to fully support all the efforts to keep Austin safe and to effectively identify our next permanent police chief. I want to speak directly to the community and to reassure you that the dedicated men and women of APD are committed to ensuring the safety of all populations in the greater Austin community. We continue to work hard and take the appropriate steps to reimagine public safety and to provide the highest levels of professionalism and service, the service that you expect from your local police department. After many meaningful and sometimes tough decisions, I want you to know that we hear you and we're actively taking steps to move forward in the right direction. For those of you that don't know me, I want to just provide a moment to be able to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm going to start with first that I'm a person of integrity. Nothing is more important to me than upholding this value throughout the organization. This is done intentionally and daily in every interaction that we have with our community. I value the commitment that the hardworking men and women of the Austin Police Department display on a daily basis as they deliver critical services to our community. And they also value the community input that has been coming in, driving the efforts for us to provide police service in the manner that our community desires. And importantly, I believe in transparency and accountability. By displaying these core tenets in everything that we do, we can build trust and legitimacy between the department and our community. I've been leading the department in a couple of areas that I think are very critical right now to the community, including in the area of ending homelessness and in how police interact with those that are in mental health crisis. I've been active in both these areas for a couple of years, and they're areas for which I have a passion. And I'm going to continue to advance the department's efforts in these areas. That kind of concludes my opening comments. I do want to leave some good time for media to go ahead and ask questions. I'll be talking throughout about the goals during my tenure. So very briefly, I'll just say that I do want to facilitate effective organizational change. I think that it is important that you, the community, be able to see that your department is growing and is growing in the way that everybody in the community would like to see. I'd like to really effect a good transition of APD to new leadership and to bring on a kind of a new and revamped culture, actively engaging in this search process with the transition team. We're going to be enhancing diversity, equity, and inclusion in all APD divisions, not the least of which is our training academy, which we are working hard to make sure that we are meeting community expectations so that we, when we reopen it, that we are doing so with the full confidence of the city council and the people that they represent. I mentioned it already, but I think it's important to reiterate the transparency, enhancing communication and engagement with our community. I'm also enhancing communication significantly within the police department. And then building the trust, enhancing that relationship between APD and the community. I will be engaging with many parts of the community that may feel that they have been disenfranchised or have been neglected. I am actively reaching out and trying to re-engage on those. But having made those comments, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Kevin, so that you can go ahead and moderate the session. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. I look forward to the questions.
Thank you, Chief. Now we'll move over to our pool reporter, Karime Hernandez from Univision, with questions for our speakers.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this conversation with our interim chief. I'm going to start with the first question from Univision. In recent weeks, we have seen a wave of robberies to food trucks, the majority owned by Hispanic vendors. How has the recent budget cuts affected officers patrolling in these communities?
So I think it's important to understand that the police department, we have made changes to our staffing structure over the last several months to make sure that we do not lose the officers that are on the street, that we still have strong presence in our patrol areas, because as a police department, there's nothing more important that we do than answering 911 calls. That is our #1 priority. So being able to effectively respond quickly, and we have been able to continue to retain within a reasonable standard the measures that we have in place that kind of define how we're doing our police services. We will continue to do that, and that's why it really is important that we restart the academy class, because we need to bring in some fresh officers to start refilling the ranks and to make sure that we're bringing them on in the right way. We are looking at things like violent crime, and I am, have put out a mandate this week to my command staff to bring back a violent crime initiative that we will institute within the next 1 to 2 weeks, that we are going to be looking very actively to target those people that are committing violent crimes. I think that's the expectation from the community, and that's the effort that we're putting forward right now.
Next question from Report Austin. What are the challenges you think the police is facing in their relationship with the Hispanic community, and what will your approach be with the immigrant population in Austin? That was Report Austin.
So I'm very glad in this moment right now that we have an opportunity that we now have a Hispanic chief. And at the conclusion of this, I will transition to Spanish and we'll be speaking to our Spanish-speaking community directly in their native tongue. I think it's important that we value and we show the value to all segments of the community, including our Latino population. In recent weeks, we have seen many more crimes being committed across the country against our Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, folks of those descent. So we are making sure that we are keeping an eye on all segments of the community, that we are providing good, effective services in an equitable manner to all of them. And that, you know, no less the Latino or immigrant community that is out there. I want to build trust. I want them to understand that when they call 911, that we are certainly most important interested in their safety. You know, our officers are there to make sure that they are safe and that they feel safe, just like all other segments of the community.
Great. Next question, CBS Austin. Last summer, some community members and council members called for a change in police leadership due to APD's use of force during Black Lives Matter protests in Austin. As interim chief, what steps will you take to address lingering police distrust in the community following these events?
So I talked a little bit about this at the outset, and I'll kind of expand a little bit. I think that what is most important for people to understand is that we have to be transparent in what happened last summer. We have to look very critically at ourselves to see, you know, where we did a very good job, and I think that was there. We did a good job in many areas, and then other areas where certainly we can say that improvements needed to be made. The more that we communicate and we explain the things that are going on, that is how we're going to build that trust and increase police legitimacy. We have to be communicative. So I've committed to city management and to mayor and council that I plan to be as open and transparent in as quick and expedient a manner as possible when we have incidents that happen in which the community has an interest. So I'm not just talking about, you know, those critical incidents like an officer-involved shooting, but other items of interest as well that are happening within the police department or the police department is a part of. I want to be out front really explaining what's going on. I think that's important, not just for our own, you know, our community, but for the men and women of this organization as well. And so that's a commitment to them as well.
Next question comes from the Texas Tribune. Chief Chacon, do you support efforts at the Texas legislature that would prevent cities from cutting or reallocating police budget? Are there specific bills he does or does not support?
So with regard to this question, I just finished testifying last Thursday at the state legislature and the State Affairs Committee regarding a number of bills that had to do with, quote unquote, defunding the police and holding cities accountable. And I came out very strongly indicating that I did not think that this was the right way to address an issue that we see. I think that local departments and really local municipalities have to have control of their own police departments. They have to determine how a community, based on the input from that community, is going to be policed, and that it should not come from a state government or from the federal government or some other level. It really needs to be that local control. There are a number of reasons. You know, the budget is one thing, but what I testified to specifically was that we have to have trust from the community in the police officers that patrol locally. And that trust is built by the daily interactions that happen. So over time, we have built those kind of relationships with people in the community. And if we have another department that just steps in and all of a sudden is asked to do the same thing to the same level, I think that you're setting those folks up for failure. So that is what I testify to, and I would not support any measure that is looking to be punitive in any way towards a local entity. I think that we have to work with our local government to find that right mix, that right framework for how policing is going to be done, and I'm committed to doing that.
Next question comes from KUT Radio. Do you plan to apply for the permanent chief job?
I appreciate the question. It is something that I'm considering, and I have not made any decisions about.
Next question comes from the Austin Chronicle. Chacon, video recorded yesterday at a rally near 4th and Congress shows an Austin police officer pushing a woman in a wheelchair until she falls out of the chair. The officer proceeds to walk away without helping the woman. Will any of the officers at the scene undergo an internal affairs disciplinary investigation?
I have seen the incident in question. I've already spoken with the area commander, and we are doing our review of such types of incidents, which includes the use of force, which includes the response to the community and how we handled this to ensure that all the policies were followed. I don't want to get out ahead of this and make any comments about whether I think it might go to internal affairs or not. I want to conduct that, which is part of our policy, and that review is currently being conducted.
Next question comes from KVU. How many pending officers' disciplinary employment decisions will Chief Chacon inherit? And what is his timeline for making those disciplinary/employment decisions? How will a grand jury's indictment of an officer influence Chief Chacon's disciplinary/employment decisions?
So with regard, I'm going to answer the first part obviously first, which is I couldn't tell you the number of incidents that we have where officers are alleged to have violated policy. I can tell you that we have a very robust internal affairs division that is on a timeline. We have timelines that are set by state law that we have to operate within, and we will do so in each one of those cases, ensure that we don't let deadlines pass by. We work very closely with the Office of Police Oversight that's conducting the oversight of those to ensure they are kind of the checks and balances for us to make sure that we are conducting unbiased and thorough investigations, and that and ultimately kind of help the process towards the end in making sure that we hear from the police monitor, Farrah Muscadin, how she feels regarding whatever the incident is. With regards to officers that might be facing criminal charges or indictments, there is a process in place for ensuring that any kind of timelines that might be set by state law are extended until the criminal investigation is complete, whether that is something that we receive back from our district or county attorney that says that no charges are going to be filed, or if charges are filed until that action is complete all the way through court. So all of those, we have processes for all of those in place, and protocols that we will follow to ensure not only are we maintaining officers' rights, but that we are holding officers accountable for whatever the alleged action is if it turns out to be founded.
Next question comes from the Austin American Statesman. How will you repair wounded relationships with the activist community in Austin? In light of recent events in Atlanta, what actions do you plan to take in helping protect the AAPI community in Austin?
Thanks for the question. I have been already in kind of my limited time here reaching out to some of our activist groups here in Austin, trying to engage. That is going to be a continuous effort throughout my what is probably going to be a short tenure as the interim chief. to make sure that we're continuing, that they're a vocal and kind of vital part of our community. And so I really need to be able to sit down with them to hear what they're saying, and not only that, but to see what the kind of wants of whatever group it is, to see if it's something that we can do. And so I'm committed to doing that. I've already done it with a few, and we'll continue to do it with other groups, and certainly any member out there that might be watching this who is interested in meeting with me, I ask you to please get in touch with me, because that is my desire, to be as engaged with our community, including our activist community, as possible. With regard, I apologize, I'm thinking about the second question now, with the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. Following the events that have happened within the last couple of weeks, we have stepped up patrols in areas that we know we have businesses or places of worship that are owned or operated by people of Asian American descent. We want to make sure that they feel protected. We want to make sure that we're keeping a watchful eye. I'm glad to say that we have not seen anything in the community specifically that is targeting Asian Americans, but it's something that we are keeping an eye for, to make sure that if we do see it, not only do we address it, but that we make sure that we notify the community so that they have awareness.
Great. The next question, the Daily Texan. What actions do you plan to take as interim police chief to ensure diversity and inclusion in the training of the upcoming cadet class? And what do those diversity and inclusion changes to the curriculum look like?
So there are a number of things that we're doing right now to ensure that we are going to put together a cadet class that the city of Austin can be proud of, that we are really looking through a diversity, equity, and inclusion lens to make sure that every training video that we have, every class that we put on, that we are doing it in a way that is going to promote those values. In order to do that, we've hired Dr. Ann Kringen as the new Training Academy division manager. She has extensive experience in this area and in the area of academics, to be able to transform our academy essentially into an institution of higher education. And we're creating a much better adult learning environment, and with the focus specifically on adult learning. We're also contracting with the Joyce James Consulting Group in order to conduct the groundwater analysis of institutional and racial inequities in policing training. So this workshop that will be conducted, and we are in the process of not only putting our cadets through it, but our incumbents, the people that are already here, really looks at institutionalized racism at that groundwater level. And, as the underlying cause of societal and generational racial inequities. It's important for our officers to be able to understand that and internalize it, and then look through that kind of, as I mentioned, a lens as they provide services down the road once they graduate from the academy and are out there serving our citizens. So there's this. I've just mentioned a couple of things that we're doing. There's a number of things that we're going to be doing, but all of these are part of the blueprint that we're laying out for city management and for the city council to understand how we are really trying to advance this effort of redoing our police training academy.
And I'll just add, I want to appreciate the chief's leadership on this. I know he was actually visiting the academy this morning to reinforce some of the messages that we've been conveying, both through the blueprint and the steps that we'll be taking to have a reimagined and a re-envisioned cadet training academy that will really reflect our community going forward. So this is an incredibly important topic, and we are putting all of our resources and efforts to make sure that we can stand behind it, and it's something that the community can support. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Now the next question is going to be from Fox 7 News. Even with the new cadet class this summer, it will be about a year before new officers are sworn in. How will you address the officers' shortage in the meantime? Will more specialized units see cuts between now and next year?
I can say that that is likely. We continue to lose officers through normal attrition, and right now our attrition rate has been higher than normal as we have officers that are entering the time in their career where they're eligible for retirement, and we've seen a number of officers that have left in the recent months, and that is leaving particularly our patrol ranks short. As I mentioned earlier, it is so critical that we have patrol that is staffed appropriately, so that we are ensuring the safety of the community. And importantly, I'm ensuring the safety of the officers, that they have enough officers out there to back one another up as they go to what can sometimes be very dangerous calls. So yes, we are looking at areas, we're being strategic and very intentional and thoughtful about which units might have to be downsized. I am taking input from a number of areas and have heard very clearly from many community members about the things that they value, and all of those things are coming into our our focus right now as we look at where we're going to have to do that. I've said it a couple of times. This is why it's so great that we are actually getting our academy back up and running again. I think people are going to be very proud of the product that we put together ultimately in the curriculum and the things that we're going to be doing out there. And importantly, we are going to be adding back to the ranks, and so that once we have enough officers, we can push those folks back to their regular assignments.
Great, and we're on our last question, and it's from KXAN. You've been with APD for more than 2 decades, and some argue that enough needed change can come from someone who's been within the department that long. How do you plan to bring change that makes for a more transparent, efficient, and effective police force?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's a fair question. I would ask you, for the people that I have the daily interactions with, for the community members that I'm going to be engaging, to just have an open mind. I would ask you to look at not only the words that I'm telling you, but the actions that will follow, and judge me by that. Because I tell you that I'm a person of integrity. I tell you that I'm a person who is here to make sure that this community is safe. And in the same breath, tell you that we are going to deliver police services the way that the community wants. So those two things are the things that are going to be driving the operations, how I'm creating the vision and mission here for our police officers, and it starts with us at the top, and then it goes all the way through the organization. I plan to really instill a sense of service, of servant leadership throughout the department, that by the highest ranks of the department, really delivering that to all of the officers who are actually taking the 911 calls are going to turn around and they're going to deliver it to the community. That is the way that I want to see this happen, and what I'm actively working towards. So I would just say, please, give it a chance. And for those that might have doubts, and just let me prove it to folks.
Thank you, Chief. That was the last of our questions, and thank you to Karime. Chief Chacon would now like to take an opportunity to address the Spanish community directly. Chief Chacon.
Okay, give me one moment, please. Primero, quiero reiterar lo orgulloso que estoy de que nuestro alcalde y el Consejo Municipal confirmen la decisión del manejador de la ciudad, Spencer Cronk, de que yo sirve en este nuevo cargo como jefe de interino del Departamento de Policía de Austin. Tengo la intención de apoyar plenamente todos los esfuerzos para mantener Austin seguro y para identificar de manera efectiva a nuestro próximo jefe de policía permanente. Quiero hablar directamente con la comunidad y asegurarlas que los hombres y mujeres dedicados del Departamento de Policía de Austin están comprometidos a garantizar la seguridad de todas las poblaciones en la comunidad de Austin. Continuamos trabajando duro y tomamos las medidas adecuadas para reinventar la seguridad pública y brindar los más altos niveles y profesionalismo y servicio. El servicio que esperan de su departamento de policía local. Y después de muchas conversaciones significadas y a veces difíciles, quiero que sepan que los escuchamos y que estamos tomando medidas para avanzar en la dirección correcta. Para aquellos de ustedes que no me conocen, soy una persona de integridad y nada más es más importante para mí que defender este valor en todo este departamento. Esto se hace de manera intencional y diaria en cada interacción que tenemos con nuestra comunidad. Valoro el compromiso que los hombres y mujeres trabajadores del Departamento de Policía de Austin muestran a diario, ya que brindan servicios críticos a nuestra comunidad. Y también valoro los aportes de la comunidad que hemos recibido, lo cual impulsa los esfuerzos para que proporcionemos servicio de la manera que nuestra comunidad desea. Y lo que es más importante, creo en la responsabilidad que esto es. Al mostrar estos principios básicos en todo lo que hacemos, podemos generar confianza entre el departamento y nuestra comunidad. Gracias para la oportunidad y soy listo para preguntas.
Thank you, Chief. And before we wrap up, we would like to give Chief Chacon and City Manager Cronk a chance to make any closing remarks. We will start with Chief Chacon.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm just so excited. That's all I can really tell you is that this is a great opportunity, I think, for us to showcase how good this police department is. I think with much of the things that have been going on in this country and the things that are going on nationally, that has been lost in that narrative. My intention is to highlight the really good things, and then importantly, it is to shine a light when we fall short, and to be as transparent as possible, and to hold ourselves to high account. So I will be doing that in the coming months. I want to leave this department in a better place, always continually improving for when we find that next permanent police chief and I hand the reins over. So I truly, to City Manager Spencer Cronk and Mayor and Council, I just want to say thank you for showing the confidence in me to be able to lead us through this interim period, and I can promise I won't let them down.
Thank you, Chief. And now over to City Manager Cronk.
Well, thank you for creating the space for this important conversation today, and I am so proud of the way that our community is willing to have these important conversations and discussions on such a broad range of subjects related to public safety. No doubt that these discussions will continue as we undertake the important process of finding Austin's next police chief. And as I've said before, my goal throughout will be to ensure that our residents are heard in who they want to see lead our department. And I look forward to a transparent and inclusive process that relies heavily on extensive engagement with the community, as well as the city leadership and the employees of the police department. I want to thank Chief Chacon for being here today, for taking on this incredible responsibility. And I want to thank our pool reporter from Univision for asking the media questions. And with that, this concludes our press conference.
Will Dupree still here in the KXAN live studio. Thank you all for sticking around to watch our stream as we've carried this news conference that the city manager, Spencer Cronk, and the interim police chief, Joseph Chacon, had a few moments ago. Chief Chacon will become the acting police chief as of April 11th. The city council approved his appointment last week during their meeting. And he addressed a few things during that news conference that we'll highlight now. He did say that he is considering applying for the permanent job of Austin's police chief. However, there is a search going on right now. The city manager previously stated that they are searching for candidates both nationally and internationally. They had a press conference about a few weeks ago mentioning that the search would include candidates from all over as they work to find Chief Brian Manley's permanent replacement. Chief Manley is announcing that he is going to retire from that particular job. Also wanted to say that Chief Chacon said he will issue a directive to bring back the violent crime initiative with the city after reports of more violent crime happening in the community. He also says that he stands opposed to any efforts within the state legislature to effectively punish cities that cut money from their police department or law enforcement budgets. He said that he testified during a House committee last week to that effect, saying that local control still needs to be had and that the state and federal governments do not have a role in that at the moment. He also said that the police department here in Austin is stepping up its patrols for businesses and places of worship that are either owned or frequented by members of the Asian American Pacific Islander communities. That is obviously after recent incidents of violence and hatred directed at those communities all across the country. I want to thank you all for watching our stream. We will have more information about this on our website. That's KXAN.com and the KXAN News app. So please download that if you've not done so already. Really quickly, a programming note for you all. Coming up at 2:30, the Travis County District Attorney is holding a news conference to talk about 2 indictments of Williamson County deputies related to the death of Javier Ambler. We're working to put more information up about that on our website, and we will also carry that stream of the news conference at 2:30 right here on KXAN.com and the KXAN News Facebook page, so please tune in. Again, that's coming up in about 20 minutes. I'm Will Dupree here in the KXAN live studio. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you back here another time. Please, everyone, stay safe and healthy and take care. We'll see you again.